Hey Fred, what's up with these 2 harvest toasts?
Well, some harvest toasts are just for the dogs. Welcome back, EdelKampers. I'm Fred.
I'm Mary. We examine, experience, and educate.
Because it's never too late to believe in yourself.
Ain't that the truth? We are going to share 2 different unique harvest toasts with you tonight. Relax, kick back, and stay and watch the sunset with us
as we double down.
In this episode, we are going to take you along with us to 2 different harvest toasts. The first one is a little bit west of Missoula, called SoJo Ranch. And I was super curious on how they came up with this name. So I asked our host, and they explained that both her husband and her were from the Norwegian descent. Her name is Sonia, his name is Joe. So put that together and you have SoJo. Pretty ingenious idea. So when we arrived at SoJo Ranch, we pulled in, and there are 2 available parking areas for harvest toast. They also offer, with a small cost, some electricity, and then we were able to tour the ranch. Now, we read a lot about the infamous chicken coop, so that was the first place that Peyton and I headed. They have tons of hens and roosters, and they all have names on them. They have cute names for their chicken house, like the Wicked Hens Club and the Mother Clucker Saloon. What's really super cool about it is that Joe, one of the hosts, has the coops adorned with menu boards from iconic restaurants in Missoula. These are a little ironic because most of the menus have chicken items on them. The hens lay free-range eggs and are available for you to purchase on their ranch. If you move a little bit past the chicken coop, you're going to see a great big apple tree that when we were there had just started growing some apples. And along the fence next to that, there were some beehives. The hives were beautifully decorated with bright colors and beautiful pictures, and also produced plenty of honey for everybody to purchase if you want some honey. The fence line goes all the way across the property, and they have placed benches and chairs and tables for you to be able to come out in the evening or even in the afternoon, sit down, have some iced tea or a cocktail, and enjoy the beautiful scenery across the fields and over the mountains of Montana. They cleverly have called this Sunset Point. Behind the house there is a huge fire pit, which they have tons of chairs all around, and during the fall and cooler nights they have a big fire, and they invite all the guests to come and enjoy a epic night by the fireside. It was a little bit too hot for us in July, so we didn't light the fire, and we were under a fire ban. So there are also wind chimes in the trees, which enticed Peyton like a little fairy to gravitate towards, as well as the little stables on the other side of the house. And at the little stable, we went through to the other side where there's a little fence with 2 beautiful goats. They're fainting goats, so perhaps you can make them faint. They are Ben and Jerry. Great name. Peyton and I enjoyed petting them and just spending some time with Ben and Jerry. They also have gardens that you can see, as well as 4 Labrador dogs. These labs do run unleashed over the property and are very friendly, and the hosts offer to allow you to have your dog run free too. They only ask that you notify them that you have a dog and that you guys get together and see if the dogs get along, and then you can allow your dog to freely roam the property. We had a good time there. We also purchased some meat that they had in their freezer, as well as the eggs and honey. Great people. We would definitely stay there again. There also was a place where you could walk called Kelly Island, where you could do some fishing if you had the time. We were super tired as we've been traveling across the country pretty fast, and we wanted to hit the hay so we could get ready for adventure the next morning, where we are going to be heading to Benoit, Idaho, and our next harvest host.
All right, it's time for the SoJo Harvest Host Cellular Service Report. AT&T comes in at 8.65 MIPS, T-Mobile at 4.6, and Verizon is the winner at 22.05. Well, that's going to do it for me for now. Stay tuned to part 2 of our Doubling Down Harvest Host special. Oh, here, shit.
Whoa!
Came out of nowhere.
So our next day was off the beaten path in a little town called Benoit, Idaho, close to St. Marie's. We are at Veterans Assist, which is a pretty amazing harvest host. Pete was here to greet us. They raise Wheaten dogs here, so Peyton was able to play with a few of the puppies, a couple of the grown dogs, and Stormy even got to play with them as well. It's been a good evening. It's definitely a little bit off the beaten path, but very peaceful. So if you're looking for a quiet place to visit, then this is definitely the spot for you. Good host, sweet dogs. This is a harvest host that is a great place to go if you want to do mountain biking, ATVs, or hiking. They also have a pasture if you have hoof friends and carry along your horses. So a great place for equestrians. He does have a fenced horse pasture that you can use. There were 2 sites when we were there available. They were about 100 feet apart, and we were the only ones there the night that we were there. So your host offers a 30 amp site at an extra cost. They both have water. There is no sewer there, but he also has fire rings and firewood for you. Now, Pete was a really nice host, and he told us about a restaurant called Drifters about 2 miles from our harvest host in a little town called Amita, Idaho. There's also to explore St. Joseph National Forest, just about a mile away. And we were ready to prepare for our adventures the next day, so we chose to sit around the area and enjoy the sunset at this beautiful harvest host. Peyton enjoyed playing with the Wheaten dogs. Oh wow! That older one. Hi, baby. Hi. Oh, you've got a lot of energy. Yes, you do.
Not as much as when I was barking. I talked people out of that one yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, are you going to try to calm him down a little bit more first, or?
Yeah, it just needs to be with somebody who's got time and a single person, and I think that would be okay.
You're a cutie.
That's kind of how they're supposed to act, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, you
They're
got to be worked with. Yeah.
They're called a Wheaten greeting.
Oh.
With that said,
There you go.
Keep them on all fours.
One of their big things is raising Wheaten dogs, which are hyperallergenic, and they do not shed. So he was really nice both times that he brought out the dogs to play. He invited us to enjoy the dogs, and just another great stop. Highly suggested. As the sky becomes dim and the sun begins to sink behind the horizon, it paints an array of hues. No matter how your day, good or bad, the sun always sets, and when one day ends, another begins, and reminds us how good it is to be alive.